Now we're going to talk about function operations, and that's basically when you add, subtract, multiply, and divide function values. Now remember, a function value is a y value. So first of all, we have function addition. That's when you take the y value of one function, for example f, and add the y value of another function. Now sometimes it's just generic. So for example, if you just had f plus g and you didn't stipulate what you were inputting, then you would just be adding the function equations or charts depending on what you have, which we'll look at in this lesson. So if f was sine of x and g was e to the x, then then f plus g would just be sine of x plus e to the x. You wouldn't have anything more than that. So sometimes you just add the equations or the general charts. We also have function subtraction. So for example, f of a minus g of b would give you a specific number back. But if you just had f minus g, then it would just be a generic f minus g. For example, if f was, let's just do a quick example. Let's say f was x squared and g, let's say f was 2x squared and g was x squared. Well, if you subtracted those, you would get 1x squared, right? So sometimes it can even be simplified. But today we're focusing on the charts, so I don't want to spend too much time on equations. Next we have function multiplication. That's when you multiply the y values of two different functions. For example, f times g. And finally, last but not least, we have function division. That's when you divide the y values of, let's say, f divided by the y value of g. Of course, there's other symbols for division. You can have this, or you can have, let's say, f over g, like that. Very simple. Okay, so this is the chart we're going to be using for a lot of the examples in this lesson. Here we have f of x, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, with some different y values here. And then g of x chart over here. Same x values, different y values for g. So let's answer some questions in regards to this chart. So example 1 says, what is f of 2 plus g of 2? Now you need to write this down. There's another way of notating this. Sometimes you'll see f plus g in parentheses and then a parenthesis of 2. These mean exactly the same thing. This is more straightforward, right? F of 2 plus g of 2. This is more concise. F plus g of 2, but it means f of 2 plus g of 2. It's just written in a weird way. So without further ado, let's look at the chart. Let's see what f of 2 and g of 2 are. Well, f of 2 is negative 3, right? And g of 2 is negative 4. So I'm going to be replacing f of 2 with negative 3, its y value from the chart. And I'm going to be replacing g of 2 with its y value, negative 4. Okay, it just comes straight from the chart here. So again, you're just adding the y values in the chart. Negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. And therefore, f of 2 plus g of 2 is equal to negative 7. That's all it takes, just looking at the y values on the chart. Let's look at another example. What is f plus g? So notice, in this example, contrast with example 1, we don't have any specific inputs. It just says, what is f plus g? In other words, what is f of x plus g of x? Well, all we have to go by are the actual charts, right? So let's go back to our chart here. Before we were adding the two y values, right? We were adding, for f of 2 plus g of 2, we were doing negative 3 plus negative 4. But now we have to add all the y values. Let's go back to our chart to see why. Here's f of x and here's g of x, right? So we're going to add all the y values for f of x and all the y values for g of x to get a new set of y values. Now it's important that the x values are the same. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to add the charts together. In other words, if these were two separate columns for x, we would not be able to add them. But we can. So f of x plus g of x is just going to be the y values for these inputs, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, plus the y values for the same inputs for g. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's take the y values of f and add the y values of g, and that will give us f plus g given the same inputs. So final answer is negative 2, 7, negative 1, 3, 0, 0, 1, negative 3, and 2, negative 7. You know, students get confused sometimes. This was our answer for example 1, but the entire chart, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of outline that, is our answer here for a generic f plus g, f of x plus g of x. This entire chart is our final answer. It's not just f of 2 plus g of 2, right? It's every single x value that we were given, yielding a specific output. That's going to be it for this video of introduction to function composition, function operations, and function addition. If you have any other questions about this, let me know.